Whoa, I think I'm here. Am I? Yes, I am. Yes, making a video. Milk talk standard kind of crunchy crap, but I'll try to be careful in how I step. So everything will be okay. Anyway, hopefully I won't fall down again. Yeah, the good news on the Inmendum channel front, the strikes are finally gone. So I think I will post important videos there, or roundabout subject style videos there, or something. And I'll still post until I get the Ephelist channel back, Ephelist videos here. Videos about not having kids. And then other stuff will go where it should go, appropriately and such. I think I'll be doing some draft science videos more regularly, so I do kind of like that, and I might get back to doing some economics videos. So we'll see how it goes. So related channels will be linked as necessary and such. So on the subject of not having kids, right? We could do a top 10 list of reasons not to have kids. Yeah, Gary says so. Don't do it. Gary's saying, please, please, please don't do it. Because guess what? Somebody like me is going to come back here again through the device of one of you doing it, and I'll have to relive all this crap all over again, and basically come to the conclusion that I hate your guts for no good reason. I mean, this doesn't need to happen, right? You can find something else to do. That would be reason number 2. You can find something else to do. Yes, you don't have to be playing Dr. Frankenstein. I mean, come on. Lots of other stuff to do in this world. It's like food. You don't got to eat other animals. There's lots of stuff to eat that ain't made out of other animals. Lots and lots. And there's lots of things to do besides having kids. Who wants your wife all pregnant and sick, and that's the thing. You gotta sort of angle this argument to both sexes, because each sex has a different advantage, different incentives, let's say, generally speaking. But I mean, if you're a guy, come on, you don't want kids. You just don't. They get sick. They got all kinds of problems. You gotta worry. If you're at all responsible, unless you're a drunken asshole, your kids are going to be a hell of a responsibility. And what happens if you get sick? That's going to be a bad worry for you, because if everything's, if everybody's counting on you, you're going to cause a lot of grief if you go down and, leave them in a lurch. But just the responsibility of it. Your kid is probably not even going to like you much for most of its life. It's going to find all kinds of fault. And maybe when you're 70, you'll have a beer together and go, well, even though, we had all those horrible times, I think you're a pretty cool guy. Blah, blah, blah. Some kind of old bullshit like that. And that's going to be after you're a drug addict and all kinds of other crap goes on. And why bother with all that crap? I know there's this little good moments, where it's, whatever, running around in its Pampers, singing some song or something, risky business kind of movie in its underwear or something. And you're all like, ha 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 ha, my kid is so cool. But most of the time it ain't going to be doing shit like that. It's going to have all kinds of nerdy little habits that are going to drive you nuts. It's going to be a whiny little crybaby or something. It's going to talk funny or walk funny. You're going to be like, oh God, my kid is creepy. So why get into it? There's just so much else to do. You could just go to another country and, sit on benches and talk to women and crap. I could make a channel, just don't get married, and then you're less likely to get kids. But just say no to marriage. But I don't see anything really wrong with relationships and stuff. But so you could, instead of having kids, you and your wife could find some other project. Go out there and do something interesting instead of just making some monster who's going to end up with $100,000 in debt, college debt or something, and get drunk all the time or do some other kind of silly shit and drive the car into a tree and end up paralyzed or something. There's so much downside risk. Why would you play with this thing? Especially now too, you can just kind of see it. And people have gotten so cynical, and the world is so cutthroatly rude. Your kid's just probably gonna, throw you in a nursing home when you get old, and or sell you for scrap metal. So why bother? It's just going to be a horrid responsibility. Like I said, if you have any integrity, aren't you going to worry? Aren't you a little bit afraid of realizing you're creating a human being, and that what they turn into is all going to be on you? Every bit of it. What if they turn into some kind of horrid? Not that being a pervert is all bad, but some perverts go way wrong, right? Well, if the kid ends up being some kind of raping, pillaging monster, you're going to have some, you ain't going to be happy realizing that, that's what you did. It's your fault. Her pain, his pain, everybody's pain is going to be on you. You made the mess. Why would you do that? Why would you just create something else to struggle? And let's say you create a kid who's actually healthy and they actually make it and succeed. All of their success will be taken from them. They'll be stripped of all their dignity in the end. They're going to die. And they might die badly, embarrassed and humiliated. And so they had it all. How many have you known? How many people have you heard about? They had it all. And they end up face down in the tub. Glub, glub. Why, what do you think you're going to, why try? Why try to play with this thing when you know all of those accidents are sitting there waiting to happen? You look at the world and see a bunch of successful human beings, a bunch of fully functional, go, everything working just right. Or just these slaves to a system, and slaves to ambition, and slaves to addiction. Isn't that what you really see? If you put it all in fast motion, what do you got? Is it like a city at night with the little headlights buzzing around and everything look like it's working just fine? Or is the human race a train wreck all over the place? Debris and bodies left all over the place. Why mess with it? Yeah, please, don't do it. For me, for all the other people who'd raise their hand and say, yeah, me too, please don't do it. This is all I want of it. I want it done. I want it over. Put a finish to it. Don't keep throwing me back here to play a game that's too stupid to be played. Your kid's not going to win. And if he does win, it's going to be at somebody else's expense. And that's just the way it works. So do the right thing and find something else to do with your time besides conducting biological experiments. Leave sentience alone. Yeah, I ought to do that video. Leave sentience alone. Leave it alone. Play with some other toy. Find some other entertainment. derive your accomplishment out of something more you than, potentially creating a victim. Try to do something more fail-safe. Try to first do no harm. Yeah, why not? Try to be careful. Try to be responsible, and just recognize that you're not competent enough. You're not capable enough. You don't have the powers necessary to control the experiment. And if it gets out of hand, and it gets out of your control, there's all kinds of mayhem and disaster that's going to be imposed and experienced merely because you have some idea in your head. Well, put another idea in there. Ask your brain to give you another idea. You simply just say it to your brain. Brain, suggest to me something else I can do with my time for the next 18 years. And your brain will come up with answers. It'll say something like, well, you always thought about the idea of going to Egypt and sitting on a pyramid. Why don't you do that? Or you always thought that'd be interesting to, sail, around something in a boat. Or maybe you wanted to climb a mountain, or maybe you wanted to learn how to do something. Maybe you want to be a juggler, maybe you want to be a magician, maybe you want to be a tap dancer. Work on that crap. Don't be working on trying to conduct an experiment you don't have any skill at. You don't have any qualifications to have much hope at all of surviving average results. And go look at the world and go look at the average results and see if you can rationally defend average performance. Average performance doesn't look too fucking good. Looks like doom to me. Certainly is a fate I'd rather not get off the couch to experience. I'd rather not be bothered for certain. Does my opinion mean nothing to you? The fact that I'm telling you there's a chance your child will have exactly my opinion, that doesn't scare you at all or intimidate you a little bit? Come on. Yeah. So ask your brain for better. Ask your brain to come up with some other way to put a smile on your face. You can always borrow some kids if you're desperate to play with them. You can always go to the park, and be a molester, or whatever, a big brother or something. I mean, if you really must have some interaction, there's lots of kids who need a mentor, lots of kids who need advice, lots of kids who just need somebody to be their friend. Right now, the world is covered with kids who are alone because their parents are too busy to raise them, too busy making the money needed to keep them in Pampers. Why don't you go find a way to help those kids out? Lots of kids in need of somebody to say, hey, I got a good attitude. I can help you find a path through this troubled water and make this life thing work for you. I can help you. Why don't you go help instead of creating more mouths to feed, more need to feed, and more jeopardy of failure. I'm not a big fan of this takes a village to raise a kid, but the fact is that parents on their own are doing a rotten job overall. Maybe it takes a few people to make one kid right. Maybe this idea of us being able to create kids all over the place and it all works out, maybe that's a fallacy. And maybe it should be a group project to make a human being. It certainly should be a full-time project. And how are you going to full-time it? You have inexhaustible wealth. How are you going to hide at work? From the rough parts, and pretend that's all you need to do to be a father. Yeah, well, I call bullshit on that and such. There, I think that's enough of a video. Very say no to kitty. Yeah, sort of said it pretty loud. Until next time. Yeah, I guess I'll add on something because, it's kind of a pleasant walk home and I have too much stuff to carry to run, so talking seems like the right thing to do. So I'm wearing the right shoes for it. Big white shoes. Anyway, nice sneakers, but yeah, a little too white. Anyway, that's irrelevant, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. So women and kids, I think they want to do this thing. They seem to say, okay, I got a uterus, I got to use it. No, you don't. And, they get talked into it by, women who it all went well for. But really, some women, getting pregnant will kill you. Literally. And the dead don't get to tell you how horrible it was, right? And the women it literally kills, they don't get to tell you anything. So maybe you ought to look into that just to get a little bit of perspective and say, do I want to get myself killed so I can have some funny looking, weird shaped thing pop out of me? It's going to just suck up all my time, all my energy. You could do something with yourself. I know women don't really go for being a scientist or something, but there's like lots of crafting projects. You could paint plates. I saw that in a movie once where the fancy women sat around in the garden and painted plates. You can find something to do that's fascinating and interesting. It's always stuff that could use a little more cleaning. You could do a little more vacuuming. You could, run on the exercise thing a little bit more, a little exercise biking or something. It's always something you could do with that extra time. You don't have to go run and wipe snot off the kid's nose and shit. All that. Ew, come on. You don't really need to do all that crap. You can find something else to do. Lots of fun things. You could walk in the park and shorts and stuff and wait for me to come by. Yeah, you could get oogled. Getting oogled is fun. I wouldn't mind doing some oogling. But who wants to oogle somebody's mother? Ew, that's no fun. So, let's see, what else could you do? There's lots of things to do, though. You can learn some new dance steps. Sewing. You can sew your own clothes and sew your own underwear or something. That could be fun. Let's see, what else? Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, you go get massages every day. You don't have to waste all that money on the kid no more. So you have lots of extra money. So you go get a nice massage every day. A little bit of a sauna. That sounds like good times to me. Watch extra Emendum videos. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Don't think you want to spend 18 years nailed to some horrid experiment that you're conducting. And once you let one of those things out, you're probably going to let more of them out. And just what a mess you're going to have in no time. Horrible mess. Just think about what a pain in the ass you were as a teenager. You want to deal with that bitch again? And the new version ain't gonna be you. Yeah, so everything you like about yourself, your kid will be entirely different. Totally obnoxious. Some sort of little drama whore pain in the ass. You know, and if you have a male child, yeah, then you're, it just gets so messy. You know, you don't want to turn them into a little sissy, but you don't want to turn them into a wife beater. And, it's very difficult. Very difficult. So why do that? Why, come on. Lots of things to do. You know, mountains to be climbed. You're the first woman to do something preposterous. Now, I guess women have done that, but I mean, just find something else. I wouldn't do the bungee jumping thing. That seems kind of silly. But, I wouldn't go like rope swinging over rivers, because that might get you flesh-eating disease. But there are things to do besides, A, B, C, D. Who wants to do that? Come on. Can't you imagine better for yourself and, talking baby talk for 6 or 7 years? Yuck. And if you have a real conversation, it might, once the kid gets a little bit of age on it, it's going to be on the internet all the time. It's probably going to end up being smarter than you, and type faster than you, and you're going to look like some kind of doof. Some kind of stupid doof. Yeah, so you're going to have some 10-year-old mocking you. Come on, what do you want to do that for? No, it's no good. It's no fun. Trust me, it won't be any fun. You'll regret it. Yeah, you'll just bust up your guts and give you a fat ass for nothing. Yeah, just don't do it. Yeah, that's it. Don't do it. Alright, that's good enough. It gets crunchy after this bit. Anything else? Just say no to having kids. Just say no, let's not do that. Let's do something interesting. Yeah, that's the thing to do. Just do the interesting. Have nice, fun sex. Don't have horrible, awful children. Yeah, it's going to ruin the old sex life. And your husband will be cheating on you. It's another reason not to mess with it. It'll probably ruin your relationship eventually. Yep. Turn it into some sort of domestic farce. And what else will do? Yeah, come on, get real too. I mean, most men nowadays are too selfish to be decent fathers anyway. And why would you want to mess with that too? They're all too needy and self-important. They're not gonna want to do all the hard time you got to do in terms of maturating a child into a human being. So you're gonna have to do all the work, get all the blame. So better not to just say no to it. Just don't do it. Lovely. Until next time, and I will explain some more that there's other things to do in life besides having children, besides doing insidiously dangerous biological experiments for which you have no qualifications.